Live in the Salon with Benita and Rita. Welcome. Get a glass of wine and get comfortable. You will be empowered, inspired, and will definitely have a little fun. Hey, you may even learn something new. In the Salon, we host community conversations, so all voices are appreciated. We hope you will enjoy the show. Cheers. Welcome to Live in the Salon with Benita and Rita. I am Benita.
And I am Rita.
So as you can tell, we are not in the Culture Mix Radio studios today. We are blessed and honored to be in the home and gallery of our esteemed guest, the internationally known artist, Sir James Thornhill. Thank you. Thank you for having us in your home.
You're welcome.
So listen, y'all y'all gonna be a little envious.
Yeah.
When we walk
You're
into
gonna be a lot
this place,
envious.
It's like you're welcome home.
Yeah.
You know, it's just amazing. So you'll get to see some of the art, but enjoy this wonderful conversation. So again, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you also, Rita.
I appreciate it. And it's so amazing because you're from Richmond,
Yes.
and I've certainly been here a heck of a long time, and this is really our first meeting.
Yes.
So I love that. I love that Benita knows all of these people that I don't know.
Yeah.
And then I get to see them, and plus you're a boomer.
Yes, I'm a boomer.
So, you know.
Boom, boom.
Yeah. Boom, boom. So listen, let's just start from the beginning. The question that I was going to ask you originally, then I read the article over here.
Okay.
When did you realize that you wanted to be a painter?
You know what, Rita? I've been asked that a whole lot. And the answer's still the same. I never realized that I wasn't a painter. I started off painting. When I'm asked when you got started, I was always doing this. I was born for this. Never realized.
So what does that mean always? What were you doing?
Well, as a
Because you know,
kid-
I could do stick people.
Yeah. Well, I think we all start off like that, you know, but I just show signs of just being more eager to go past that stick figure. So my teachers at Baker School, they recognized that early, so they put me in advanced art classes.
Okay.
But, when I say I've never realized that I was an artist, because it just came natural. You know, my mom, she looked at what we did, and she bought us certain things to enhance our skills. So she bought me a paintbrush. My brother was like more into science. She bought him a microscope. And my sister, she bought an Easy Bake, Susie Bake. You remember Susie Bake, right?
Of course I
And
do.
we ate her cake anyway, Rita.
Look, and I'm going to say I can't bake now. So
We ate the cake anyway.
You did.
Yeah. But it was always that. And then growing up, Rita, in Jackson Ward, you know, you met a lot of artisans. You know, whether it was the cake baker, or the ones that made the Kool-Aid, or the ones that painted murals on walls, the sign painters. Early in the morning, they're selling that ware. It's like, anybody need coal? It was like all here, you know.
Yeah, ice.
It was the ice truck that was always there, and then it was.
Benita don't know nothing about
You
that.
sure nothing about that?
So we just having this conversation.
But let me ask you. You remember the one? Mashed potatoes, salted pork, three mashed potatoes. That's what they were around. That's what inspired us, because the elder people,
they were in business.
They were everybody had a business in Jackson Ward. We didn't know poverty.
I need to put a comma there because I don't know that all our listeners know about Jackson Ward. And the history here, this was part of the Chitlin circuit, right? Because entertainers would come down from New York and come through, and this was one of the stops. They could stay at the Eggleston Hotel.
Oh,
but right?
You bring back memories.
Right.
Yeah.
But just talk about, like you're saying, the energy, because it was all black. It was an all black neighborhood. It was huge.
Yes.
We can also talk about how it got split.
Yeah.
But just growing up in Jackson Ward.
We know you used to call it the Harlem of the South, right?
That's right.
And 2nd Street, we called it 2th Street, then became the Deuce, and then 2nd Street. Yeah. But that's where we all congregated. You know, on Sunday mornings, you go to the Deuce after church. You better be clean. If not, they like go home and dress. They talk bad. But Jackson Ward, everybody had a garden, Rita. I'm growing a garden in my backyard now, as a matter of fact. But everybody grew something. When I say we didn't know poverty, we knew Brunswick too. Okay. Because everybody had something. It's unbelievable, because there was cantaloupe growing here, was growing lemons like not too far from here. But you go down the street, you're gonna see a pomegranate tree, and that's kind of unusual. But we do everything here.
The Harlem of the South.
The Harlem of the South.
So what? And of course the schools were segregated, and you dressed even when you went to school.
Yes,
you know.
Yes.
What high school? What middle school and high school did you go to?
I went to Baker Elementary.
Okay.
I went to Richmond 8th grade. That was junior high school.
Right.
Then I
See,
went
junior. Somebody talked about that the other day.
Yeah,
they call it
junior.
middle school now, but it was junior high.
Exactly.
And then you had A and B, because some kids started in December or January. Right. That's another story for another.
I don't know about that one.
Oh, am I older?
No, I'm not going to say that. Maybe more experience.
That was Mississippi.
Yeah. Oh,
That's it. That's Mississippi.
Okay. But the schools, I mean, everybody knew everybody.
Yeah.
In Jackson Ward, we had those bathrooms outside, and we had to go, get the kerosene oil. So everybody in Baker Schools smelled like kerosene oil. So
wow.
no big deal. And then we used to get the fish from the river. So everybody smelled. You saw those brown paper bags, Rita. They had grease in the bottom. They got that fried chicken, that fried fish up in there. So it was just a tight knit community where you didn't know poverty. Everybody knew everybody. If your teachers could, they knew your family. If they had to do a little discipline, you got it, and then you got it when you got home, and the neighbors knew it, and the kids waiting outside to hear you get it.
It's amazing how that news got home before you did.
Before
you said the kids was outside laughing.
Outside
because they'd be tomorrow.
Yeah,
they gonna get it tomorrow.
Exactly, but they knew when Mr. Williams, your math teacher said, I'm gonna call your parents. The kids said, oh, James Thornhill, they're about to call the parents. Mama said, wait till Daddy get home.
So you got it again?
That was called discipline, but it was
right.
tough love.
That's
Look
right.
at us now.
Exactly.
So we didn't have a problem with that.
Agree.
And then it wasn't abusive. It was just like, look, I know there's a big world you got to go out and face. So we wanted to make sure. One thing about segregation, us being in our own neighborhood, we developed our own language. Everybody knew everybody, and we didn't look at it as punishment. But they made sure we were equipped because they knew having our own teachers was one of the best things.
Yeah. So James, it was about consequences.
Mm-hmm.
That we don't talk about consequences now, but I think it's important that when your mom was talking to you or your dad or whatever, there are consequences to our actions. So we then know, well, I'm not going to do that again.
Right.
Of course.
Right.
And when she talked to you, she's like, look in my face. I want you to know this. And she said, if we don't do this now, the streets are going to do it. So there was always a thing to save us. And the neighbors, they knew us by name. And when the kid was born, they was there. Most of the neighbors named the kids. It was like a tradition. Everybody was there. We had with the midwives also, Rita. I mean, it was just, when you have borders and you can't go Broad Street, you can't go here and there. You create your own language within your community. Everybody know you, and then even in Jackson Ward, Church Hill, Highland Park, we all had our own calls. You couldn't go to the neighborhood unless you knew a call. Yeah. Let me give you one of them.
Let me have one.
That was Church Hill, I think. If you didn't know that, you better keep on stepping. Exactly. And all the Ebonics and stuff, it came from a class of people who developed their own language and communication. And all that communication became love and understanding.
I love it. Yeah. So where did the Sir James come from?
Oh, that's another good story. Okay. So, as a kid, I always had these dreams of castles and foreign places and royalty, and even saw myself riding on a horse. And this is one thing I think about an artist's vision, y'all, is that it's a lot of things going on, and even before you create the painting, it's like you're already painting in your head. So a lot of what happened in my life is a vision, and then when you get to like, wow, deja vu, but you understand that deja vu is just one thing, but it's like in some way, I think in spirit or in past, we've been in those certain places. So as I go to the Bahamas, it's like, how are you, sir? As I go to Nigeria, how are you, Sir James? And Ghana the same thing. So I kind of liked it, Rita. So I said, let me take her home with me, right? So then I did that. I know.
Everybody else brings souvenirs.
I know it.
I'm with a whole new
Bring it home with me, right?
I brought home earrings.
Exactly. So I brought home a tag, right? Name, right? So in Ghana, I did a naming ceremony. So in Ghana, my name is Nana Kofi, which is a king born on Friday.
Okay.
And then in the Vulture region, I did a naming ceremony then. And this is just to become a part of a tribe or an
That's good.
acceptance. And there it was like two big Kofi, and that was a king. I mean, what was a king, and then that was a Sir born, a gentleman. So my daughters asked me, Dad, have you been knighted? Yeah, I have been, because all these things are bestowed upon you.
Yeah.
And then when you realize when you're in these countries, it's like deja vu again, like I've been here somewhere. You realize that, you know, we've all are time travelers, and we've been here, we've been around. They say the soul don't perish, just avatar will. So
wow.
yeah, so we've been around. That's kind of where the Sir came
So
from.
Sir is there, Sir James.
I heard it, I liked it, and I
kept it.
And I kept it. So hey,
and it's all the accolades around the house.
I,
it's who you are.
Yeah.
And I love it when they say Sir. It's like, and then you realize that the Moors were Sirs.
Yeah.
You know, you realize that in our travel as Black people, we've been bestowed with certain things, and we've changed certain things. And because of the murals I do on the walls and transforming things, by right, I think that.
No question.
Thank
No
you.
question. No question. But before we wrap up this segment, I do want to. What other training have you had? What other schooling have you had?
Well, Graham Central Academy of Art in Times Square.
Okay.
Learning under some of the best artists.
Okay.
I'm an aviation artist for the Pentagon. So I took photography there, and I got pieces in the Pentagon. VCU for art. VCU also for theater art and fashion designing, fashion fair for makeup. The list goes on. Then we get it all in this segment.
Yeah.
And what I did, I hopped around.
Yeah.
Now I know it seems like a whole lot in a lifetime, in my short lifetime, but I didn't require 8 years of classes. I can do, you know, a couple of months, and I got what I need.
That's what I figured.
The brain turns.
That's what I figured.
So don't let the timeline confuse you.
And also it's the creativity, and that's what I always want our listeners to understand. When you have the gift, you have the gift. So you don't need to get another 17 degrees. You got the gifts.
Yes.
Right?
And your spirit is saying you got to move. You know, saying there's things to do.
Exactly.
You know, you can't sit around. But I decided to just, you know, look at the classes I wanted to take instead of going around just, you know, and focus on those.
And I think people right now are doing YouTube like that. I know I do. I do webinars. I never thought I would, but I can take a webinar. Just tell me the beginning. You don't have to get. I don't need an hour. Just give it to me, and I'm good to go.
I went to the technical center and learned every industrial sewing machine because I was always interested in fashion designing. A couple of modeling agencies, and by learning that, becoming a tailor, you know, making suits from scratch.
Michael Taylor. Do you know Michael?
I do know Michael Taylor.
Okay.
He's fashion designer also.
Yes.
And then and makeup, I was doing my sister's eyebrows.
Come on.
That's when we had the tweezers, right? I had everybody in the house crying. Everybody in the house was crying. I was doing the whole neighborhood. really. And
everybody walking around with babies.
Yes. Stop it. And there wasn't it, okay. But,
that's terrible.
And then sewing the clothes, making costumes with VCU and theater arts.
Yeah.
You know, just a variety of things. You know, Rita, I found out that all the things that I took, whether makeup or fashion design, came out in my work.
Yeah.
Because you see the cheekbones, you see the makeup in some other ones.
We're going to talk about her when we come back.
So that's a good time. That's a good break.
Yeah, sure is.
So this has been amazing so far, but y'all know we got to take a quick break. Yeah. So give us a minute.
And
we'll
don't go anywhere.
Back with Live in the Salon with Benita and Rita. And we're back with Live in the Salon with Benita and Rita and our guest, Sir James Thornhill. So perfect transition. It's time to get into the art. And so we chose this space. Before the break, you talked about how you take what you've experienced and you put it on the canvas. Can we talk about that beautiful lady behind us?
Yes, this is Natalie. Yeah, last name. I think she's Mumford. Okay, so it's called The Raven. And in my work, I like to use a lot of different textures to kind of bring it up. Like, see her hair, it's got some Elmer's glue and some paint, some oil paint in there.
You said Elmer's glue?
Yes, yes. And then you got the cardboard here. And then you see the hinges here, right? She's a part of the Gatekeeper series. If you look at the other
I've
work,
seen them,
you
yeah.
see those, right?
Yeah.
You read what gatekeepers are?
Well, I know a gatekeeper,
Yes,
I don't
yes.
like them, but I know what gatekeepers
Yes,
are.
yes. Well, we're gatekeepers of our knowledge because yes.
Oh.
And when we open these gates, we give it to the world. But we are the keepers of secrets.
Got it.
You know, so she's a gatekeeper.
Got it.
And you got the crows right there. The crows, they make a lot of noise. It's like a warning sign. The raven don't make no noise, but the raven's one of the wisest, the smartest birds you can find. The raven here is a gatekeeper saying you can't even come to the queen. Her name is the Raven, and she's actually, everybody see here, Rita, are people that I know personally. So I set the photograph.
So she's a real lady.
Everybody in here, people I've been.
I gotta go back and look at
if you know anybody.
Yeah, because it gives me, because knowing them personally, I can really put the essence of them into the painting. And sometimes they say, well, don't exactly look like me, but it's what me as the artist, what I perceive, you know, as her spirit, her energy, her aura, to put her in a mood like this.
She's beautiful.
And you notice I broke her up like Cubism, because I was shooting from a bottom angle, because in my work, and that's why I took photography at Virginia Museum and makeup and anatomy. All this is in art, so it gives me a good eye. You know, whenever I hire a photographer or somebody do my makeup, it's different from what I want. So I went to school to learn my own craft so that I can do it myself to get something like this. So the Raven is saying, you can't even come to her. I'm a gatekeeper. Don't even bother the queen. So you notice back here you got, I call it ancient mathematics, which is symbols and signs. And when you look at it, what symbols and signs they represent, the symbols and signs of Sir James. You know, it's not like African symbols and things, but it's what I create as my symbol and what it means to me. Sound vibrations. If you look through here, you can hear it. You know, it's all sound vibrations. And they really feel this. You're allowed to touch it, right? Okay, now, this is actually plaster of Paris that you put around your arm on a cast.
Okay.
But I like making textures, so I go as far as I can to go to 3-dimensional, 4th-dimensional, to make it pronounce more, and even where the crow is sitting.
I see, yeah.
So you even see the locking mechanism, because that information we hold, we don't release it all, but you know, but in time, gatekeepers are responsible. Every one of these paintings are like a storybook, because you look at the hinges and the gates. It's a lot of story behind those gates. Gates are in cathedrals. Gates are in front of your door as protection. So it's a long history behind gates and why we have them in front of our yard. Some gates are used to keep people out, some gates are used to keep people in.
Yeah.
So the Gatekeeper series has a whole lot, and there's a whole story behind these gates. So in showing these work, you know, I have the whole write-up about it.
And they're gonna take pictures. They're gonna take pictures of some of the other ones.
See them.
Okay.
So did this start with this right here? How did this?
Good question.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Because I thought they made noise like a call.
Well, with the Raven, the
Raven, yeah.
The Raven's more quieter.
Okay.
The Raven is, you remember Edgar Allan Poe, the Raven, Nevermore. Yeah, but the Raven is just that stately bird that's mysterious. If you do something to the Raven or take something to her, he can follow you for days. He can find where you are, according to what they say. The Raven is just one of those smart birds. So all of my paintings, Rita, it starts off one way, but it ends up another.
Okay.
All depends on how I'm traveling as I'm painting.
Right.
Because I might have a totally different intention, but I like kind of doing it, putting it down, and then just see where my imagination is going.
And so when you got her, then was it just the face, or was it full, and then you chose just the face, or what?
No, well actually, you see the face, you see her leg, you see her arm, you see her hand right here, because you know the term foreshortening.
No.
Foreshortening.
Foreshortening.
Yeah, it's like when if I'm close up on you, like let's say if this is my hand close up on you, you're gonna see this before you see most of this.
Correct.
So she was close up.
Right.
So you see this more than that,
Right.
and then she sets back because it's fore, and then it goes back foreshortening.
Got it. I love it.
And I love you talked about the the gatekeeper
Yes,
series.
yes.
As we walk through the gallery, we
Yeah,
saw
you saw the
several
gatekeepers.
in this.
Oh, we got some intense gatekeepers there.
Absolutely.
And I tell you, and you know what's strange about being an artist, as I produced the Gatekeeper series, it's like I was behind the gate, you know, with each character. Rita, I like to describe myself as an artist as, you know, when I'm sitting in front of the canvas, all of a sudden I leave the seat. I'm in there, I'm walking around. I could be painting for days and hours, Rita, never know.
Yeah.
You know, because I'm in a certain place, I'm in a certain zone. And that's the beauty of art that all of us do.
Yeah.
You know, I think, and my opinion is just melanated people have a different pull, or art pull us in a different way, only because of, you know, of who we are, and the melanin is in everything, the sun, the moon, the stars, and our vibrations, the way we act in music and stuff, y'all. You know, because of who we are.
Different.
Yeah, so I think,
it is different. I see it.
Yeah. Some people see have dreams in black and white. I have dreams in color. You know, I see things. You know, I can even think about sometimes. Now this might be kind of different, but so I met a guy. He was a seer. He said, "Man," he said, I saw you in the pyramids. You were a scribe. I saw you painting pyramids painting hieroglyphs on the wall.
Yeah.
And then I realized I got 25 murals in Richmond on walls.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I bear witness. I'm that one. I've been there.
Yeah,
I'm the one. I'm the one. That's right. That's me.
Been
That's
there,
me.
done that.
But hieroglyphs on the wall. How you like that? That's
Wow.
awesome. Yeah. So then I realized that the Sir has been. You know, we've been here. Yeah.
We've been here before.
Yeah, we've been here before.
So I've had the pleasure of seeing some of your work through the process. And so you have, I've seen.
How long does it take?
It depends on the piece, Rita. You know, because
finished.
by having like that's why you're in my studio. You're in my studio upstairs, and that's where
Your studio's upstairs here in your home.
Yes, I call it my situation room. That's where the magic happens.
Yeah,
You
that's
know,
a situation.
and then when you go on the
I love
second
that.
floor in the hallway, those are pieces that I'm working on.
Okay.
These are completed pieces right here.
Okay.
You know, so so when we talk about how long it takes, if I'm getting a little bit, I don't call it bored, but different about one piece, I always have 3 or 4 pieces working at the same time. You know,
Then you walk away.
Yes,
and
yes,
go work on
yes.
this one.
And by living in my studio, my gallery, I walk past these paintings every day. And one of the things that's puzzling or troubling is that when is the painting done? If you walk past them every day, they're never done. You know? So you might say, well, I'm going to take it back upstairs and do something more with it. But I find that, you know, paintings, they take time. A couple of commissions I had, but I always ask my, you know, people who commission me to do it, give me the time to do what I need to do. You know, it could take 3 months, it could take longer than that.
Exactly.
You know,
and that's good to say.
That's
That's good to tell them.
Yeah, because I don't want to disappoint about it. But the creative process, you know, some people might be just pull a rabbit out of the hat, but their rabbit I don't think is going to be, you
so
know.
let me ask you, since in Richmond you have so many murals around the city, is it the same process for you with the murals versus the paintings?
It is, but on a bigger scale.
Okay.
You know, because
if you change something on that mural, that's a whole
right. But it's like, you know, if I'm asked, how can you paint a wall 9 feet tall? You know, and
you're not scared of
wide?
heights, apparently.
Never been. I worked for Philip Morris, Rita, 33 and a half years. So I had a heavy equipment operator license. So height never bothered me, and equipment never bothered me. You know, because when I'm up that high, it's like being in God's country. It's a whole different experience when you paint that wall. And they said, how do you paint a wall like that big? My answer is always one brick at a time, and making sure you got your harness on. But I'm saying it's one brick at a time. But we got methods of making that image. But to your question, is it the same process? I look at it all the same way, so I won't complicate things myself. You know, brushstroke is a brushstroke. You know, and for a bigger wall, you get bigger brushes. You know, then you get spray cans.
Now you got to show me. I've got to go see them because I don't know even.
I give mirror tours.
Yeah, do you?
Yeah. Benita's gonna.
We'll talk about that because we want people to have that interactive, so you know this James Thornhill, because a lot of people, you know this, sir. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. There are people who don't realize that mural is. And the murals are fabulous. If you're ever in Richmond,
I didn't know.
Just right there, they're fabulous.
Are they just in Jackson Ward?
No, but scattered in different places in Richmond. And then the Valentine Museum, they do a Jackson Ward mural tours.
I've seen that.
Yeah, and they feature all the murals.
I've seen that.
I tell you, one of the reasons that I did started the murals in Jackson Ward because I was born and raised in Jackson Ward.
Mm-hmm.
And whenever I Googled Jackson Ward, all I saw was violence. I didn't realize that by painting those walls, that now you're going to start seeing those when you Google Jackson Ward. You know, because anything that you do and it is recorded or it's on the internet, it's going to be there. So when they Google Jackson Ward, they're going to see Sir James Jackson Ward. Yeah. So most of my murals are of historic people, you know, like from Jackson Ward, like the firefighters, Maggie Walker, and then I got a couple other people like Frederick Douglass. So
you went to Maggie Walker?
No, then my brother went. The Mighty Dragon.
Are you a dragon?
No, well, I was a dragon fan, you know. But just the entire experience, Rita.
I know.
Growing up, I call it growing up Jackson Ward.
Yeah, I am originally from Jackson, Mississippi. So I'm an Army brat. We traveled, but to come back to Jackson, and there would be my granddaddy, who was a bricklayer, living right next door to the superintendent of schools, living right across the street from a professor at Jackson State.
Wow.
You know, because everybody was just mixed up.
Yes.
It just was. It was just you had a house, and this was your neighbor, and that was wonderful. That was just
nobody seemed higher or lower. Everybody on the same level.
Yeah.
Yes. Until you try to cross that line, like okay, kids stay in that place. You know, and they tell us, and we don't say Mr. Mrs. They say put a handle on it.
Yes.
You know, we had those morals that made us respect because they just weren't going to take anything less than that.
Yeah. So I got a quick thing because we got a couple more minutes in this segment, and I hate to relive this little dark time that we had in Richmond in 2020 and 2021. And you had done an amazing mural of Arthur Ashe.
Oh yes.
And during that period, it got vandalized.
Yeah.
How did that? How did you feel? Because it was vandalized with white nationalist type of trash.
Oh yeah, they were very intentional in what the message they were trying to send. So when I got a call that morning from Diane Hayes from Parks and Recreation to tell me about it, I couldn't even fathom what was going on. So I didn't really take it that serious until I went down to take a look at it and realized that before I got there, the city had already painted over it because they didn't want people to see it. I had an issue at first because I said, let the artists come out, tell you what we do with it. But when I saw what they had before, I said, you did right.
They photographed it?
Yeah. They photographed it. It was well documented. I got this thank the city for that. But it's like somebody had it just kind of took something away from me, you know, because the process of painting it, you know, going into that tunnel, because at first the tunnel reader was it was closed off because when the drug scene came down real hard, people take that tunnel and went from Chamberlain Avenue down there. Right. They closed it off, and a couple of people got violated. I would use that word there. So at first it was supposed to be a painting on the back of one of those what you call things they practice on, backboards. But the city, Parks and Recreation said that it wouldn't be a good idea to paint Arthur Ashe on that because kids in our city or group be playing against Arthur Ashe. Other kids wouldn't have the kind of practice. I didn't kind of understand that. So they said, what about that tunnel over there, right? So I saw it and something hit me and said, that's the one, but I didn't let them know. I didn't tell them I was excited about it. I said, well, let me think about it, right? So I got up and said, wow, this is going to be the first tunnel art in Virginia. I can honor Arthur Ashe. The whole tunnel is going to be a walk-through timeline, all that. So we went there, we got it.
We're going to put a pin in it because we got to take a break.
Okay, take a break.
But just don't forget what you were saying.
You're on the roll now.
So we'll be right back. We're live at the Salon with Benita and Rita. Okay, and we're back. And I can't remember what the name of the show is. I'm so caught up in the conversation. Live with Benita and Rita. Yeah. Sir James, back to the tunnel.
Good to see you again. So the tunnel was in such a bad condition, we had to have it cleaned out.
What was the tunnel there for?
The tunnel was like, good question, Rita. We used to come from Jackson Ward over to Battery Park, go through the tunnel to go to the swimming pool. One of the first swimming pools that blacks could go to.
Okay. And so you didn't have to cross the street?
You didn't have to cross the street because Brooklyn Park Boulevard is right there.
Got
right?
it, got
Going
it,
that
got
way.
it. Okay.
So it was a safety for us
Got
to come
it.
through that.
Okay.
We used to go through there and make it hollering because there was an echo in that tunnel.
Yeah.
But the tunnel
Kids.
separated the basketball court from the swimming pool.
Okay.
Right? So the basketball court was considered, not so up there. The swimming pool court, swimming pool was like considered those guys because the lifeguards, they came from college and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it was nice.
Back
My
then.
grandmother
I
lived
know.
2 blocks away.
Yes.
Yeah.
So at that point, I tell you how we connected those two because we didn't tunnel in between.
Mhm.
So they started coming over to meet each other then.
That's
So
it.
so the tunnel was done. Altrina helped us. A couple other companies. Hampton Glass was on that team also, and some volunteers. There was Keith. There was Michonne. There was David. I developed a group called Unity Street, and that was bringing all the other murals together.
Good.
And the reason was because I had like about 5 or 6 walls, and I could have did them all, but gentrification was taking over Jacksonville so fast. I wanted to get in front of that through art, because if you see us on the wall, you'll know we're here, no matter who comes here.
Right.
And it's not just for us; it's to educate you as well.
Right.
We ain't that selfish. We just gonna get down on people.
Understood.
So speaking
Exactly.
of education, you have a coloring book coming out.
Ah, yes,
Tell us about
yes.
that coloring book project.
I'm so proud of it. It's called Journey Beyond the Walls, and it's a book about my murals around the city. And it's called Beyond the Walls because now the murals are coming off the wall to your schools or to your coffee tables. And it talks about the murals and it tells the story because of each individual, whether it's Frederick Douglass, Dr. King, Harriet Tubman, Major Taylor, Megan Walker, all these great people are there with stories about them. And I'm acting as a time travel, going back and just having a conversation with them. So then there's a coloring page also for the kids to color that same mural. Then there's a page for journaling. So they can actually do study. And then I got a map in there, Rita, so they can go in front of the mural, color it, journal, talk about the experience, and just embrace it. And this book, it's going to be translated in different languages also. Not just because it's about Jackson Ward and the murals, but because it's a good opportunity to learn about people historically and to just come into the area.
I never thought about translating.
Yeah,
Scrapbooks.
because
Yeah.
when it comes to marketing, well, that's a whole other story also.
Yeah.
But, I mean, you want to be open because look, Jackson Ward was a Harlem of the South.
Exactly.
It was like what some of the first millionaires. Megan Walker was born there. Who else?
And her home is still up.
Her home is
And
still
you can take a tour.
Still there, exactly.
Yeah.
And I remember just the beautiful things about Jackson Ward. A lot of things happened here. And then people that came from Williamsburg after slavery, from understanding, blacks knew that Jackson Ward was the place to come to. Jackson Ward had opportunities there. Go to Jackson Ward. People knew about the area.
Yeah, I'm a member of a book club, and a month, maybe 2 weeks ago, I had Victoria Christopher Murray in person, but she lives in DC.
Yes.
And she started out as like a Christian romance writer, but she fell in love with historical fiction.
Yes.
And it's like, basically what she's doing with her book. And the only fictitious part is like she had this last book I read by her. The lady came into the office and, we know she did. And she said she pulled out a Bible. We don't know if she pulled out a Bible, but her father was a pastor. So she probably owned one. So she adds a little bit. But there are great ways, like what you're doing, of telling our story. And making our stories permanent. As folks are trying
and
to
relevant.
erase it.
Relevant.
Folks are trying to erase it. So we appreciate you.
And back to real quick, back to the mural thing, the vandalizing it. It really it touched a piece of my heart to realize just think that people could do that. I did go back and restore it. There was a lot of interviews, people calling because this was a militant group. They did get charged and they did get caught.
Good.
But the goal that they told uh, wipe everything out on that, and even the timeline itself about the ash, which I found, how could you do that? But
Right.
but
Everybody doesn't. You know, when you do that, you don't respect yourself.
Exactly. And you know what was so crazy about Rita? They was filming inside as they were doing it, because apparently that was their initiation or something. You saw them with the lights on the hat, you know, and they
Total. That is
right.
Totally.
Did they have
Exactly.
TV torches too?
Not that's how, but suppose the kid had been in there. Suppose I had been in there.
Yeah.
That's the real danger in that. I mean, as an artist, I realized that murals are just like paintings. You know, cover them up, but that kind of, what do you send into the neighborhood? Even the neighbors were just scared to go back down there.
Aww.
And when I painted that mural, Benita, I had a woman that called me, and this was very personal to me. She said, Sir James, you know, I got violated in that tunnel. So I never went back down there before. But now since you painted it, I want to walk through that tunnel again.
Because my grandmother would not let me and my girl cousin go through. My cousin, my boy cousin, he could go through to go play basketball. But she would not. We could go to that pool and she watched us like a raven. You know. But
she was the gate.
You were not going. You know, so.
But when she told me that, and then when I was painting the mural on 2nd Street with her Tubman, and the old lady came up and she was just tears in the eyes. I said, "Why are you crying now?" She said, "Because now the kids has the opportunity to see themselves." Get a little son with him. So I let him paint on the wall a little bit. Just to see the expression of people, man. When you realize what the old folks say, you're living ain't in vain. You know, because you realize that what you're doing, you're changing. Because even out the ash, I'm putting fires all everywhere.
That's your legacy.
Yes.
You know, I saw an interview with Michael Fox this morning, and the interviewer said, "Your legacy is something," and he said, "I don't have a legacy because I'm not dead yet." And I totally disagree with that.
Wow,
you're creating your legacy
give me
every
my flowers
day.
while I'm
Every day.
Give me my flowers now. That's right.
So let me be in charge of creating.
Because I'm going to enjoy this one.
Exactly.
I'm going to enjoy this one. Exactly.
Yes. So a week ago, you and I, right here in the home gallery, we kind of cemented our partnership. I'm going to toast. So everybody who knows me knows I'm a wine connoisseur, not a wine.
Yes. You get a cameraman. You get a cameraman, son. Like get a drummer, son. Get a cameraman, son.
There's a difference between being a wine connoisseur and a wine.
I'm a wine connoisseur. I own the Wine Club. I have some labels.
I got a disclaimer.
And I'm also part owner of a company called Elevated Experiences. So Sir James and I are going to do some extremely elevated paint and sips. So they're going to be right here in this space, this creative space. You're going to have the opportunity to have a piece of him because he's going to teach us some techniques.
Thank you.
So this is, way deeper than, just coming and paint by numbers, right? Right, it is. So what made you want to open up your home to these folks?
You? Nah, okay.
I can bully you.
Yeah, you can bully, right? Yeah, you did, right? Well, I have a large collection of paintings. I have probably one of the most extensive collection of black art in Virginia, because my mentor Alice Bostic always told me to always be prepared and favor chances of prepared. And when someone call you like a museum or something, you ain't got to start struggling. Get your word together. You already got it. So I don't paint just because someone's asking me. I paint because I love to paint and I enjoy my collection all around my house. I like to live with my paintings.
Yeah.
So look, I'm going. So what's the question again? Well, look, I'm having such a good time with you.
Why are you letting us come over here?
Because now I want to bring people in.
Yeah, look, you should.
I'm pretty candid. I love being in my studio. Artists like Maxwell and Luther, they created their studio. Then they came out to the public. So now I'm ready to bring you guys in my house.
I can feel it.
Instead of going to a gallery, I want you to get a home experience.
Right.
The wine and tasting. The wine sip. I'm gonna love just being with you guys, talking about the work while we're having sips. And then I thought about painting labels on wine bottles, just some fun things for the holidays. I think in the times we are in now, we need to come together to express ourselves.
Yes.
Because whoever comes into my home, they're going to be bringing a gift as well. It's not just about the energy that you get when you come here, but the energy you're going to bring into my house, see the paintings, and
Feel it.
Yeah,
No,
and,
listen, you
and
know
feel
what?
the energy.
That's what it is, because you
Yes.
know I talk a lot about silence. That's
Yes.
what I want folks to begin to practice is the silence.
Of course.
And
Thank
when
you,
I
Ruth.
speak,
Yes.
I actually give them an exercise in
Yes.
silence rather than talking about it. Because they talk about it all day and they don't understand it. But when you say, I need you to be quiet for 5 minutes, and nobody talks. And they feel different. Even if they don't get it to the last minute,
Yes.
it's a difference. And so I think that's where we are in our culture at this point,
I love
is experiencing.
Yes.
And as we experience what's going on, we either feel good or we don't.
Yes. And I like that because silence means that I can do this, but my work's going to speak.
Exactly.
She's in that silence because I live here, and you know I'm a bachelor. I'm not putting out that for that, right? Single and available, y'all. I'm just saying.
You gotta come through me, but
you gotta come through. But I love
Hit me up.
I love the quietness. Sometimes I don't hear music or anything for 2 or 3 days.
That's what I was going to ask. Do you have music?
I do sometimes.
Okay,
And
yeah.
every
I
song
tend
I
to
play-
create with music, yeah.
Every song I play take me back to that same thing.
Yeah.
But I found myself lately, Rita, just totally quiet
Yes.
and nothing.
That's what
And
I'm
then I call it
saying.
brain games because now I'm inside of myself.
That's
Yes.
what
That's
I'm
all
saying. You're
the time.
living
Yes,
from the
yes.
inside out.
Inside out.
Instead of dealing with the noise, you're
Yeah.
actually hearing you.
Yeah.
you're there.
My noise is sweet noise because it comes from my paintings.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah. I love the quiet too. A lot of times when I'm in the car,
Mhm.
Sweet,
it's
sweet
nothing.
noise.
I hear just the tires on the road, you know,
Yes.
and that's enough.
My thing is that when you can hear your breath,
That's right.
when you can feel your
That's
heartbeat,
right.
understand that you have met yourself.
That's right.
You know,
And I
it's
like
quite a
me.
journey.
That's the other part.
You
You
like
start
it? I like
to-
it too,
Yeah, I
yeah.
like it.
Yeah.
Thank you very
Yeah.
much. So, how do we get in touch with you?
You can Google Sir James L. Thornhill, artist of Richmond,
Okay.
and you can find me.
Okay.
That would take you to all of my social medias,
Mhm.
my webpage, and everything. But what we're going to do is make sure we have a link to the website, so if anybody wants to book a paint and sip,
Yeah, because
You
you
know,
can do
yeah.
your private groups.
yes, and I guarantee
Right,
you,
that's good.
you won't forget the experience.
Yes,
I'm
good.
here to make you
Because
happy through
Not only
Good.
is paint
Yeah,
is colorful,
yeah.
but you're
Yeah.
a colorful guy too. So
Yeah.
they will
Yeah,
love
well,
it.
thank you,
Yeah.
thank you. I like that.
You'll take that, huh?
No, just okay.
Benita, how do
Yeah.
we connect with you?
Everybody know me.
Okay, just in case.
So,
just in case, with the people in China.
Instagram
Yeah.
Instagram in China.
Right.
Instagram. You can
Instagram.
find me at vine_wine_club on TikTok. What is my name? Benita the Wine Hoe, I think it's my name. So, it
I
is
love
what
it.
it is. So
I love
you can
it,
find
yes.
me, but either way, you're going to be able to sign up for the paint and sip experience that
Yes.
Sir James and I are doing
Looking forward
that
to it.
first weekend in December, and we know it's going to be amazing because we're doing it for 2 days.
Yes.
Right?
That's good.
Exactly.
Today.
That's
A
good.
good time for the holiday. Come
Well,
on
let
over.
me just
get
hurry.
your
Let me
chill.
just hurry up and say we're going to do also a burn vision
Uh-huh.
at the end of the month. So
Yes.
we've got the you're doing December.
Oh, yes. that
Yeah,
is
and ours
December.
is December
Yeah.
29th.
Okay.
And so there's a lot going on in December. I'm glad we're talking about this.
Yes.
A lot.
And
Burn
all these
vision.
things are great.
Benita
Yeah.
started me with burn. Actually, she started me with burn, and we would just burn what you don't want to bring into the next year.
Wow.
But now we burn it, and then we come back and replace it with your vision for the next year.
So how do they find you?
Rita Ricks, RitaRicks.com.
Yay. So
Yeah.
thank y'all for tuning in. Again,
Absolutely.
thank you for welcoming me.
And
Oh,
we
my
both
pleasure.
have YouTube, so we want you guys to really talk to us.
Yes.
We need to hear from you
Yes.
always and tell us how we're doing, what you want more of, and thank you for spending the weekend with us.
Yes, me
So we gotta go. We can't let these two keep talking. We gotta go.
We gotta
So thank
Come on,
you.
y'all. Come on.
Tune in
That's
next
right.
week. And thank you for your support of the Culture Mix Radio.
That's
Cheers.
right. Bye-bye.
Cheers. Cheers.